Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dain. Welcome to this installment of the Tour of Consciousness Holiday Edition. Let me start with expressing my gratitude for you and my best wishes for you for an amazing holiday season that changes your life and makes it better. Now, if you can hear the noise all around me and behind me, it's because the guys are spraying leaves across the street, and they've been doing it for the last hour or so. There seems to be a fundamental law of making Tour of Consciousness videos, and that is, as soon as you're about to turn on the camera, every noise in the surrounding world will come and find you. Apparently it wants to be part of the process. Who knows? Oh, let me see if I could get started here, okay? First, thank you for being on the planet. Thank you for being around. Thank you for being the gift that you are. If you could start to realize that indeed you are a gift, and that probably one of the things that has gotten in your way more than anything else, that has seemed more difficult to deal with, especially without a reference point, is actually your level of awareness. Meaning that at this time of year, things get stressful in a lot of ways for a lot of people, and what's happening is what you want to ask yourself. So the first tool, you want to ask, is my level of awareness exceeding my level of allowance? Now, allowance is where everything gets to be just an interesting point of view. No matter what you feel, no matter what you perceive, no matter what you think, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, is allowance. So you don't have to resist and react, you don't have to align and agree, you don't have to do positive, you don't have to do negative, you don't have to run away. It's just interesting point of view, I have this point of view. So you want to ask yourself first, is my level of awareness exceeding my level of allowance? Because at this time of year, you become so much more aware of all the weird stuff that's going on in people's worlds, and everybody else is pretending like it doesn't exist. This can help you immensely if you're willing to do it, and just acknowledge, wow, my awareness is actually exceeding the level of allowance that I had yesterday, meaning, and then you want to ask, okay, what's it going to take to increase my level of allowance? Frankly, I've got family staying over at my house, not even my family, but I'm still going, wait, where did I go? Like, I'm having trouble finding me. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? You know what I'm talking about? And it's weird because we have these ways of being, and certain things trigger us, and then we kind of go, it's like you're walking along, you're like, oh my God, I'm totally great. Hey, great day, awesome. And then you see your dad and you're like, ah! And everything you've ever tried to be for your dad comes up. And then you see your dad and he says the same thing to your mom that he always says that makes you want to protect your mom. You're like, ah! Now you're trying to be everything you are for your dad and everything you're doing to try to protect your mom. And all of a sudden you're gone. You are into invention city of magnitude. So a few things you want to do. Recognize, number one, you're not wrong. Number two, you're not alone. Most people on the planet are doing this right now. Great, how does it get any better than that? Number two, here's what you want to do. You want to ask, how many inventions of me am I using to create the me with family I am choosing? Ah! Everything that is, times a gazillion, we just run and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and buck, all nine, shorts, boys, and men. Let's try this one more time. Now notice my energy is increasing. I'll tell you why in just a second. How many inventions of me am I using to create the me with family I am choosing? Everything that is, times a gazillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, beyond. And if I were running it on you or with you, I would say, how many inventions of you are you using to create the invention of you with family you are choosing? Except it runs a lot better when you do the me, because it's the me's that you have invented yourself to be that you're not actually, that are what you do around family that makes you feel like a pile of poo. Huh, sniff yourself. Do you smell like poo? Okay, well, if you do, run the darn process. Everything that is, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and buck, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So let me tell you one of the things I've done personally as the invention of me around family, and even around other people's families. What the heck is going on with that? You know how it is when you're, I don't know, let's say you have a best friend and you go see their family and you're really close with their family. Sometimes you do the same thing. Or you have a husband or a wife and their family comes over and you do the same thing, the inventions of you with family. It's time to change those, guys. I would be running this non-stop if I were you, all day and all night until you get happy again.
How much capacity do you have to be the leader in your family and with the people you're hanging out with that you've never acknowledged? Thus turning yourself into a follower. Everything that is, times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. So what leader are you refusing to be that you truly could be choosing to be, that if you would choose it would change everything for the greater for you and everybody around you? Everything that doesn't allow that, times a gazillion, will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what leader are you refusing to be that you truly could be choosing to be, that if you would choose it, would make everything greater and happier and more joyful and lighter and more fun and more expansive and just crazy off the charts yummy for you and everybody you're around if you didn't refuse it? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
And now we get to hang out with our favorite people, the ones that keep seeing us the same way and try to put us in a box. And if we don't fit in the box, then they make us wrong. Yes, our family. Yay. Now, if you're one of the 10,000, the 1 in 10,000 that has a family that doesn't do that, that is friggin' awesome. And I am so happy for you. This is for everybody else that I say that. Okay. But anytime we don't really understand what's going on, or we wake up in a crappy mood or whatever it is, what do? We tend to contract to try to understand what it is, as though us understanding it will allow us to change it. In actuality, when you give up trying to understand it and figure out what it is, and you expand your space out, like try it right now, just expand out, expand your space out a mile in all directions. Okay, cool. Now, 10 miles in all directions. Good job. 100 miles in all directions. Now 1,000. Now 10,000. Now 100,000. That's way bigger than the planet, by the way. So you're looking back on the planet as a little blue ball. Maybe 200,000, maybe 300,000 miles in all directions. What usually happens is it becomes more challenging to think, which is actually really helpful, because when you're thinking, you're stinking. And you start to get a sense of space around things. And it's like taking a bird's eye view if that bird is on a spaceship heading out to the edges of the solar system, basically. So it's like taking a bird's eye view at it rather than being stuck in it, because we tend to, when things get heavy, we tend to go and get heavy to try to figure out how to get out of being heavy. That's that's not the smartest choice that we could make. It's like you don't like being wet, so you jump in the ocean to figure out how to not be wet. I know when I say it, it makes total sense, right? You're like, why have I been doing that? That's crazy. Okay. So, and sometimes you'll be like, I can't expand out, Dr. Dain, and who does this belong to? It doesn't work. I get it. But what you want to do is you want to get present with you and your body. This is, okay, another tool. Getting present with you and your body. Put your hands on your tummy. Feel your hands on your tummy and your tummy on your hands and your feet on the floor. And just take a breath in and notice your hands on your tummy and your tummy on your hands and your feet on the floor. Whenever you connect with 3 parts of your body, it allows you to start getting more present. And you might want to do that for 3 or 4 or 5 breaths, or as many as it takes, to where the sort of frantic stress goes away. The frantic stress. You see what it's saying? You see what's happening? Oh my goodness, the frantic stress, until that goes away. And so you just like this, like, okay, like that, ooh, wait, I want to pinch my head. Oh, wait, that doesn't, that's how I pinch my head. Hold on. Anyway, okay, so, this is something that, see, it's also a weird thing, because a lot of times we tend to get in this place of, it's like once we get heavy and cranky, we want to be right for having chosen it, so we won't unchoose it. Okay, so that's learned behavior. That's not something little kids come in with. They learn it from their parents and people around them, their friends and whatever else. So you can unlearn it. How do you do that? You go, everywhere I bought that as mine when it wasn't, I now destroy and uncreate all that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And wherever I learned that this was the way to handle stress, wherever I learned that this was the way to handle these situations, wherever you learned that this was the way to handle these situations, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, pock, shorts, boys, and beyond.